Hello and welcome to Ammonit tutorial videos. Today we're going to be talking about logic controller and a rule that you can set up to inform you that your voltage is too low and maybe there are some issues with your power supply that you need to look into. So if you log into the user interface of your device, there is a system section here on the left and you have logic controller in here. Please click on that section. And in here you have a table that shows you all the logic control rules that you might have defined before. But in here we have a clear state and we'll be configuring our first rule. So please click on the configure. And in here you do have all the possibilities to set something up. But for the situation of the power supply, we do have a pre-made template for you. Here at the very bottom, you have a rule template and you have two templates. One is for the heating and one for supply warning, and that's the template and the situation we're talking about today. So I'm going to select this, and you can see that this selected few of the options from our selection here that you can configure. So we're going to start at the very bottom and from the very top, and I'll explain you a couple things. What does it mean? Here, obviously, the active checkbox means that this is an active rule, and that's definitely what you want. It has nothing to do with digital channels and power of the logger, so this is being set to none. And here's our condition. And you can see there's one condition. You can add more and or conditions, but for this very basic condition of a logic controller, we're just going to be using one of these. Here you can select which evaluation should be taken into account, and obviously in our case this is the internal voltage. Here is the statistics we want to be looking into, and we will be mostly interested in the minimum value because, you know, if you have, so to say, 12 volt power supply or maybe 24, and you want to know when your voltage that the device has is dropped below that voltage, meaning there might be some potential issues. This happens sometimes, and sometimes, you know, it's kind of a false positive. It's sort of all good. It can drop a little, but it shouldn't drop too much, because obviously that can result in the measurement not being conducted by the device, just simply because of lack of power. So in here you can say whether this should be a positive or negative condition. In our case, we want to be informed when this voltage that is minimum is below certain value. So in here it's the positive one. Here you can say whether, you know, these things should be equal or smaller and bigger. In our situations, obviously when the minimum voltage is lower than, and here you pick the value that you're interested in 12 volt system. You can pick 12, you can pick slightly less, you can pick 11 point something, 11.8, 9, 11.7, 11.5 is probably somewhere on the edge. But you know your system the best, you should know more or less what voltages we're talking about in here. If you have 24 volt, then please change it to 24 in here, or lower than that in respective. In here you have a duration. This is information for how long this condition should be fulfilled for you to receive this notification. This is being set up to 1 minute, meaning if for one consecutive minute the internal minimum voltage will be smaller than 1, then you will be informed. This has nothing to do with switches, so these are being set to none. And here you have the methods you want to be notified by. Email is obviously a good one. If you're using live data, you can check it in. If not, you can make this checkbox go away. SMS, if you're using modem, and if you set it up here in the modem, the SMS settings, then you can maybe send yourself a message to the phone. Logbook is always good. Logbook should always be clicked here. It means that it will also write this information on not only to you by email, but to logbook of the device, and this is good for, you know, sort of keeping the history of the device and what was going on with it. If it's all good, you click here down on the save, and this will save this value, and this logic control rule will show here on this list, and in here you'll see the values are saved and potential warnings. Like, I haven't defined any email parameters, and this informs me about it, but you probably will have it filled in as you set up these logic control rules. So that was it. Thank you very much.